we talked about the Oscars last time. I was sitting down with Chad, but here we are actually, we're coming up closer to than the Oscars. We're coming up to the Golden Globes.
Golden Globes.
Which, depending on who you ask, a lot of people have very serious feelings about this awards ceremony. I don't have particularly strong feelings about it. I think that it serves the purpose that it serves. But there's a lot of people out there that feel a lot stronger than I do about it. But first off, let's like kind of go over what the Golden Globes are, like, and why they exist. First of all, they're put on by the Hollywood Foreign Press. That is a group of journalists. It started out as a group of non-American born journalists who lived in LA, were based in LA, and covered Hollywood stuff. They started doing this as a way to kind of get like press credentials. Like if they gave out awards to stuff, then people might like be like, oh, well, we want one of those awards. Well, here's some press credentials so that you can come and see the same kind of stuff that, you know, your American-born people get to see in the press world. And that's kind of where it all came from.
I had no idea. That's so cool.
But it's obviously become a pretty big mainstay of American culture these days. Every year when the Golden Globes come along, we feel the need to sit down and talk about them. And there's a reason for that. Like if you examine the way that the Oscars tend to unfold, there's a decent bit of stuff that you'll at least start hearing about in the Golden Globes, and that can kind of point you in the direction of what might happen in the Oscars. But again, I don't have the code cracked for how the Oscars pick their nominees and all that. I don't have the code cracked for how, you know, stuff makes it from the Golden Globes to the Oscars. But there's definitely precedent to examine, and we're going to talk about some of that today.
The Golden Globes, they came out. I mean, the nominations, okay, so they cover a lot. They cover more. It's kind of like the Oscars and the Emmys combined because they do television and movies.
They do TV and movies, yeah.
That's very ambitious, too.
And yes, those nominations literally just dropped. I would say that this year's Golden Globes are definitely, like the nominations are definitely in line with nominations of the past. They definitely did a lot of focusing on diversity because that's just like a mainstay topic in Hollywood these days. It's important that they do that, and I can, like, you can tell that's the direction they're going in. They definitely have always taken a celebrity over merit type of approach. Not that the stuff that they nominate doesn't have merit. They tend to just lean very heavily in on celebrity importance.
That you would recognize. Names we would already recognize.
And it's good for ratings to do that because like you nominate like such and such for such and such award. Well, they're probably going to show up. And if they show up on the red carpet, then people might want to tune in to see that person and yada, yada, yada. In terms of how this connects to the Oscars, because that seems to be the mainstay of most talks that happen, it's really just that visibility is everything. To put it in perspective, I believe it's January 6th is whenever the Golden Globes are going to air next year. The Oscar nominations come out the Monday after. That's a Sunday.
Oh, wow.
The next day, Oscar nominations happen. So visibility is everything. Like people are going to be talking about the Golden Globes up until the Golden Globes, and the people who are making the Oscar nominations are going to be hearing about that, and that's just kind of naturally going to find at the forefront. Yada, yada, yada. Let's get to the nominations themselves.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you were particularly surprised by whenever you looked them over?
Surprise. First of all, I got to get this out of the way. You and Chad got to say this. I'm going to keep this short. I'm not surprised by this, but the lack of any Boots Riley recognition for Sorry to Bother You. Any in the cast that was involved in the movie.
In terms of snub, that was the biggest one for me.
I don't think they got a single nomination.
They did not get one single nomination. And I think Lakeith Stanfield as Cash Green, I think he does deserve some love. We'll see if he gets it from other sources, moving on. But the fact that Boots Riley wasn't up for
director,
for director or screenplay.
Oh my gosh.
Especially screenplay. I can see director too, but especially screenplay.
Yeah, especially the story behind it. I'm just like, wow, that's
Most original film of the year.
I think I think people are going to regret that. So I just want to get that out of the way because everyone knows we're big fans of that.
Yeah, because I got lots to say about Snubs this year, but that was the big one.
Yeah.
So yeah, like go ahead and get that one covered.
Yeah.
But like as far as stuff that did make the list, when you were looking over the list, was there
Yes.
were there any nominations that you were surprised by?
I was surprised that Constance Wu got a not because of her performance in Crazy Rich Asians, but she was nominated for Best Actress in a was it a comedy? Do they have a distinction?
They do. They do. They famously or infamously rather have a distinction. A lot of people have a problem with that.
I could that's a different discussion. I could easily see that, but I was like, oh, that's pretty cool that she got recognized for that role in that film. Kind of in line with what you were saying about.
I think she deserved it. Yeah.
Highlighting diversity. Other roles. I was, I could totally see Chadwick Boseman being nominated for Black Panther.
And he was not.
Wasn't.
But Black Panther was nominated for best.
That's what I'm thinking of. That's what I'm thinking of. It's not his acting.
Which that was a little bit of a shocker for me.
That's
not because
right,
Black
right?
Panther wasn't a great movie.
It's a great movie.
I mean, I personally, I think that I would have to lean towards Avengers: Infinity War. It was definitely better than Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like Ant-Man and the Wasp was fun and all, but it's
just more like a romp.
It's in a different conversation entirely. Yeah,
It's just a good time.
It's in romp territory.
I was surprised, like you to see Black Panther make it into like the best drama film category of the year.
Yeah.
Even though I enjoyed the movie a lot about the movie. But
I did too.
What about you? Were you surprised to see anything else that was nominated?
I was happy to see Black Klansman up for a Golden Globe.
That's right.
Because there's no way that it's going to be up for an Oscar. So it's nice to see Spike Lee getting some love from the Golden Globes.
And he got nominated for Best Director, too.
He got nominated for Best Director. Denzel Washington's kid got nominated for Best Actor.
Nice. Very nice.
Adam Driver is up for Best Supporting Actor.
That's right.
And I think he's got a real chance of winning that one. Adam Driver is great in that movie.
I still need to see it. I'm going to get to it.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely worth a watch. Like, it's still, sorry to bother you, man.
Yeah,
but
sorry,
no,
I'm
Black Klansman's
rewatching
great.
Predator 2. It just gets in the way.
I was shocked to see Bohemian Rhapsody on that list.
Yeah, wow.
Like, I mean, I enjoyed the movie for what it was. I mean, just do a quick search on the YouTubes to see about like all the inconsistencies in the movie and all the inaccuracies in the movie. But it was still an enjoyable watch, especially in IMAX. Like hearing that soundtrack, just like seeing those big concert pieces. Like, I mean, it was a great watch, but I was still surprised to see it on this list, especially among things like, like you knew A Star Was Born was going to be there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk about this movie, If Beale Street Could Talk.
Yeah, that hasn't dropped yet, right?
No, we haven't gotten to see it yet, but a lot of critics have.
And I think Vice was all over the Golden Globes, right?
Vice had more nominations than anything else this year. It had 6, and then I think it was. Let me see. I've got it written down. It's The Green Book, The Favorite, and A Star Is Born. They each have. They all have 5.
Wow.
But in terms of the best picture, musical or comedy, because of course that's a category.
Yeah.
On the Golden Globes, Crazy Rich Asians made it there, and that was great to see. Favorite has not been screening around here, so none of us have been able to see it. Chad loved The Green Book, and then Mary Poppins Returns and Vice have not come out yet, so we've not been able to see them. I'm especially looking forward to Vice.
I'm super stoked for that movie.
I don't know. Like I can see. I mean, The Big Short was definitely one of those that you saw get some Academy love. I don't know. Like if Vice is going to be in that area. I just because we haven't been able to see it yet, but it'd be cool to see it there. I cannot wait to see that movie.
I think that's gonna be a fun ride. Powerhouse performances from all probably.
Yeah, I believe Christian Bale is up for Best Actor. Sam Rockwell is up for W.
Amy Adams is
Amy Adams.
There. Amy Adams has 2 nominations for 2 different projects.
Oh yeah, because she's also in that limited series. Sharp Objects.
Yeah, Sharp Objects.
That's up for a couple things for TV.
So yeah, I mean, she's phenomenal. So like, that's not surprising that she's got 2. I mean, I'm glad she has 2 nominations. That's really great.
I mean, yeah. I definitely enjoy her work. I can't wait to see. I cannot wait to see Vice. One that I have not seen, but I've seen the trailer for it. If you missed it, Nicole Kidman and Destroyer.
Oh no, we actually we have a trailing off in this. We don't know if we're gonna release it or not, but we did.
One.
We watched the trailer. We did one.
Yeah,
and
Chad talks to me about those things that you should do. Sometimes just record a bunch just to see if
just
you
to
can
see,
get one.
see which ones work and which ones don't. I don't know if we'll actually release.
It's not a bad
that
approach,
one.
man. Not a bad approach. But she looks like she just fucking owns that role.
That role looks like, what did we? I forgot what we compared it to when we did it, but it was another like transformation role. When you it wasn't Heath Ledger's the Joker. We didn't say that, but it's something like that. When you see an actor, kind of, it looks like the role that you'd be like,
you don't recognize her.
Yeah, Nicole Kidman was different as an actress after this role. She like elevated her to it. I think it could be that for her.
You do not recognize her in the trailer
at all.
Seeing Lady Gaga on that list, that's not a surprise. People are talking about her for the Oscars already.
Yeah, and there's a lot of buzz around that movie in general. I still haven't seen it. I didn't really want to see A Star Is Born, but there's so much buzz around it. People are saying so many different aspects of it are good.
Yeah, Chad was talking to me about it last week. He says like he hates to say it, but it's like, God damn it, Bradley Cooper, you can do this too.
No.
Yeah, like nothing that guy can't do.
Exactly.
Something I was kind of shocked to see. I was not shocked to see Claire Foy for First Man. I was not shocked to see her name on the list, but I was surprised to see her on the supporting role list because, I would technically put her like the female lead next to Ryan Gosling as Neil Armstrong. Mm-hmm. But then again, because it's the Hollywood Foreign Press, it's not like an official association. That's one of the differences between this and the Oscars. The people who run the Oscars are all in the industry. Quote unquote, they're in the industry. These are all journalists. They've never worked in the industry. They just covered the industry. So and they also have full discretion of like when people submit their work to be considered for nomination, they have full discretion to say, oh, well, here's the thing. This is more of a supporting role. This isn't really a drama. It's more of a comedy or musical.
So they get to call those shots.
At the end of the day, they can move your submission around. If you submitted for lead, they can bump you to supporting. If you submitted for this, they can bump you to that. And so I don't know if that's what happened here, but I was expecting to see her in the in the Best Actress drama category.
Yeah.
I'm glad that she still got a nod, but I'm kind of disappointed that they gave her a supporting nod.
Yeah.
In terms of actor, best performance, you see Brad Cooper on there, not a surprise. Even though I was surprised to see Bohemian Rhapsody on the Best Picture for drama list, I was not surprised to see Rami Malek.
Yeah, everyone says
for Freddie Mercury.
Say that he killed it in that role.
He absolutely did. He owned that role. And then also, I was surprised to see Willem Dafoe's name on this list just because I missed it at Eternity's Gate entirely.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
And apparently he's a Willem Dafoe movie, which is out there.
Yeah, and just oh, are you serious? Willem Dafoe made a thing and I missed it? That's a travesty.
It's a busy year for movies and television.
And then, of course, Denzel's kid, he's on there. Christian Bale was nominated for the best for musical or comedy.
Dick Cheney.
Got to see John C. Reilly on there. I was hoping to see some love for Sisters Brothers, but I understand why there's no love for Sisters Brothers. But he was nominated for something called Stan and Ollie. Do you know what that is? I could have looked it up, but I didn't.
I know. When I've heard John C. Reilly is a good, can really. He's got strong chops in the acting field. But
oh yeah, he's been around.
I don't know.
He's paid his
movie.
dues. He's done his thing. Mm-hmm. Some people that you're not surprised to see. I haven't seen The Green Book. I really want to. Chad saw it last week. He sings high praises for both guys with hard to say names, Viggo Mortensen and Mahershala Ali.
Yeah. It looks like they have really good chemistry too.
Apparently, Peter Farrelly, who did a great job from the director's chair, he got a nom, I believe.
Nice.
He was part of the writing team, and they all got a nom.
Which is now, so I don't know if you're done talking about nominations. I'm sure you'd have. What do you think are the biggest snubs for you from Golden Globes?
Yeah, we could keep going about nominations. There are just so many. But aside from we talked about Boots Riley. It was nice to get that off my chest.
Yeah.
But I was surprised that First of all, that A24 in general didn't see as much love because even like Bo Burnham's Eighth Grade, I think that it was the actress
The
from
actress
that,
got nominated. Yeah.
she got a Best Actress
And
nomination.
that's amazing for her.
Oh
That's
yeah,
really
for
great.
sure. Like being that age and getting an honor like this. Yeah, I can't
But
imagine.
no screenplay, no director,
No screenplay,
anything.
no director, no nothing. And that was wild. Just because A24 they took the Best Picture drama roles from the past 2 years, I believe, something like that.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but Jonah Hill's mid '90s, which we talked about on the Oscars show. That didn't get any love.
At all, right? I don't think we got
And
nominated
same
for
studio,
anything.
it did not get any nominations.
Yeah,
Completely
that's rough.
snubbed out. Yeah,
Wow.
and just like I thought, if anything, like okay, so you're not gonna give a Best Actor nom or a Best Supporting Actor nom because I mean like say what you want about the kid. The kid was great, but like the main mentor of the story, I forget what the character's name was, but he was the one skater of the bunch who was really good at skating.
The one kid you knew, which is so true to the 90s. There was only one kid you knew who was good at skating.
And he was that kid. He was like the mentor for the protagonist of the story. Like if you were gonna give somebody like an acting credit for that, I would send one his way.
Gotcha.
But I can't believe that Jonah Hill didn't get some kind of love for the director for that. I mean, he just put everything in place the way that it needed to go.
Especially since Bradley Cooper is getting so much love for his movie. And it's like for what I mean is it's Bradley Cooper's first job as a director of a movie,
Right.
and it's Jonah Hill's first time, right? I don't think he's directed anything.
It was his directorial debut as well.
in a film media the genre he's not normally associated with.
But that's another example of celebrity over merit, if you ask me. Not that Bradley Cooper didn't deserve it. Everything that I've heard tells me that he just like poured himself into the project. But just it was unfortunate not to see Jonah Hill's name on that list. In the world of TV, there's some stuff that I really liked that I got to see, and some stuff that I wish I would have seen more of. Naturally, it would have been nice to see some more love for BoJack.
Oh, of
BoJack
course.
never gets any love.
That's kind of like the same as Sorry to Bother You.
But they
as
don't
far
really.
as-
But they don't really like have any categories that
it would fit in
that
nicely.
would play to BoJack's. I mean, even in the Grammys, you'll see The Simpsons nominated for something, and it's like, well, if you're gonna, I mean, I love The Simpsons. Who doesn't love The Simpsons? But does it deserve to be nominated for a Grammy over BoJack? Whole nother discussion. But then you see movies, I'm sorry. Then you see TV shows like The Good Place, like get a little bit of attention. And you know, me and Chad, we love The Good Place.
Yeah, you guys rave about that show.
Kristen Bell, she got a nomination for her performance on The Good Place,
Yes, she did.
but no Ted Danson.
Oh.
No Ted Danson, and he's fantastic on the show. Glow and Allison Brie, they got a little bit of attention, but no love for Mark Maron, and Mark Maron is fantastic on that show.
Jim Carrey got some love, right? The Kidding Show.
It's nice to see Jim Carrey back in the conversation. Yeah, he's
definitely.
The show itself was nominated, and then his performance was nominated for Best Lead Actor.
Great.
Then you're seeing some stuff that's starting to be like mainstays in the awards conversation, like Elizabeth Olsen for The Handmaid's Tale. It's just like every year you can kind of expect for her
Yeah.
to turn in something great, and you're going to see her name on this list because she's going to turn in something great every year. Barry is kind of starting to establish itself like that for me.
Yeah, I saw the first 2 episodes. I loved it. I
And-
would love to get back into that show.
It has already taken home a lot of awards, and it's very heavy in terms of the TV spectrum. It's very heavy this time. And there were a couple other shows that did very well, like Amazon's The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I haven't seen it yet, but I hear great things.
It was clean and house with the Golden Globes.
And yep, it was one of those that was just all over the place. I was kind of wishing that like if we're gonna see Black Panther up for stuff, I don't understand why we didn't see Infinity War up for stuff.
Yeah. Another thing, I really think Michael B. Jordan should have been nominated for a supporting acting role for Black
for
Panther.
Killmonger.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
was such a great role, and
Like,
everyone recognizes it.
I get that Chadwick Boseman didn't get one for lead acting.
Yeah,
but,
I get that,
But
yeah.
but yeah, like for supporting, oh yeah, he knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, and that's just like, and if we're gonna nominate the movie for best drama, which I'm like, yeah, I can kind of see that, but I'm like, the clear thing to me would have been like nominate Michael B. Jordan for Best Supporting Actor. It was like a phenomenal, and the song, like the soundtrack to Black Panther, was great, but.
Yeah, which is a rare thing for a lot of the Marvel movies. A lot of the Marvel movies end up just being like kind of
just like functional soundtracks.
Yeah, it gets the job done, but you don't walk out of the theater humming the themes.
No, exactly.
You don't get any of the like anything like the original Superman theme or.
Yeah, no, I mean the days of John Williams, and those like super iconic themes.
That's not what it's about.
Yeah, every once in a while you'll have a movie that does that right, but even in some of my it's weird. I didn't really notice the music in Sorry to Bother You so much until the second time we watched it.
Because you're just assaulted by what you're seeing on the screen.
Yeah.
And then you watch it again and you like listen to how the music like plays along with what you're seeing and you're like, oh yeah.
Yep.
All right.
And I mean, just a recognizable motifs are missing. Like we watched True Romance and the like that love theme that comes back. Yeah, it's just like the marimba or vibraphones like playing it, but it's recognizable. It gets stuck in your head and you associate it with the movie. I think we need more of those like earworms in music again, like good earworms. In movie music.
I would definitely agree with that. Another snub that I can mention is there was no love for the Coen Bros. Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Oh yeah, is that a show?
That might be a reason why there's no love for the Ballad of Buster Scruggs. It actually is a cinema, but it was originally supposed to be a show. They condensed it to be like a feature length. It's a little over 2 hours, but it's 6 separate parts.
Okay. Like 30 minutes or something like that. 20-ish minutes.
Ish. They vary in length. And they don't directly connect, but they deal with a lot of the same themes. I enjoyed it very much, but I'm also a huge Coen Brothers fan. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I still would have liked to have seen it get nominated for something. But then again, like, I mean, can't be stressed enough. This is not the same thing as like whenever you're going over the Oscar picks.
Oh, and I don't know this show at all, but I know a lot of people are really upset that This Is Us didn't really pick up anything in the Golden Globes. I know.
I've seen a couple of episodes. It looks like it's an alright show.
Yeah, I mean,
it's got some good actors.
It doesn't look like my type of show, but I know that it has a big following, and people were expecting it to get some kind of recognition.
Sure, but I can't say that I'm heartbroken to not see it just because I don't have any stake in it. One of the important things to consider is just that, like, I mean, yes, there's also TV in this award show, but there's also like much less technical categories. It's all
there isn't.
Yeah, it's all performance and creative writing, music. It's all stuff like that.
No cinematography, no costumes,
cinematography.
No.
Like, I mean, maybe we're lucky that there's even a director category. I mean, if you think about it, but. It's a very different type of awards show. For the people that say that it's meaningless, I mean, it's not. Like, I don't know that it's the most important thing on the block. Like, it's definitely not the biggest awards game in town. But in the way that it does indirectly influence the way that the Oscars unfold, it does carry weight just because of that.
Mm. And it's just another. I mean, I can see both sides of when people criticize the Golden Globes or the Oscars. I can see both sides. Sometimes people are like, oh, these institutions are isolated in a bubble, even though this one's different because it's journalists, that these things are isolated. They don't really represent people. But at the same time, what award show ever really does, unless I can't think of any award that's given out because everyone votes. Except for like political stuff, and we don't cover that on this show. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Grammys are not done like that, and
this the People's Choice Awards. Like whatever credence you put into those.
Yeah, and then that's the people that fill out those surveys, and I never do. So it's not. So it's not like people who I think are like-minded, and I think the video game awards might have a voting element, but like once again, those are also the video game awards, so not as nearly established as Oscars and the Grammys and the Emmys and the Golden Globes. So they might be arbitrary and they might not be fair represent. They're never. That's why there's always a discussion. They're never fair representations of what should be nominated.
It's just visibility pre-Oscars. That's what it's all about.
And that's why we're talking about it right now. It's because it's not a perfect process, but it's good to see some people getting recognized by established institutions, and it's not fun, but it's always interesting, and I think it has a lot of merit in it to talk about who doesn't get recognized. You know, the whole Oscar so white thing, the reaction to that is one of the reasons I think you see such a focus on diversity and who's getting nominated. You know?
Yeah, as far as that goes, I think it's just getting a little bit better all the time. But I mean, things can always take a step in the other direction. It's just along. Like I want to see people that are nominated based on merit. They're not nominated based on like pandering to any one group.
Because their name is trendy or something like that.
Right. Like as long as people are based on merit, and as long as no one is excluded from the conversation based on where they came from or the situations around like how they made the piece. Like that's not what the conversation's about. The conversation is about talking about the piece of art. And at the end of the day, all art is subjective. These are just the people that have made it to the point where they get to be the ones who pass out these particular awards. And feel how you want to about that. Let us know how you feel about that. But I think that's all that we got for you on that.